Hi, everyone, and welcome to the World Class Real Estate Podcast. This week, it's just me and Chris, actually. I've got Sam and Mark away, so I'm looking forward to having a one-on-one convo with Chris Kyriacou. As everyone knows, this podcast is the educational podcast for estate agents. It is the OG of estate agency podcast, the first one, and we are now over 150 episodes. But this week, I'm looking forward to getting deep into kind of digital marketing. We might touch on some AI as well, give some tips for 2025, and having a general catch up with someone that I've become quite close with over the last couple of years. We've shared some good conversations. We've had some good sessions on helping each other out, and I've definitely learned a lot from him over the years as well. So, Chris, how are we doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you for that lovely intro. It has been a great relationship. It's been nice to partner up with you on a few things. But yeah, doing really great. Business is good. Life is good. Can't complain. It's been really great.
Good, good. And we're going to dive into a little bit background for people that maybe are not familiar with you. So the fact that you've obviously got a state agency in your locker there, so you can translate things quite well, but really now become kind of more a guru in the kind of digital marketing space. But the first question we always kick off with is, what does world-class real estate look like to you? What does world-class look like? The best?
Yeah, that is a really great question. And, I knew it was coming because you told me. So I deliberated over it for a bit. And then I thought, actually, I'm going to just see what comes out when you ask me the question. But for me, the business really falls into a couple of parts. And one of those is obviously your client care, your service that you give to the clients. And the second part is growth, and what you're doing to reach out to more people. And I think sometimes one or other of those really just gets put by the wayside, because it's hard to concentrate on both at the same time. But dealing with the customer care, I think it's really important for an estate agent to be able to speak their client's language, and help make the client's journey as easy as possible. Because realistically, that's all they want. Okay, they want to get from A to B as quickly as possible with minimal fuss, and make it nice and enjoyable. And a lot of the time, I find that estate agents are just tripping themselves over with jargon, making it difficult, tying people in, doing all these things that just make that whole journey that little bit more stressful. And then run around using words like stress, trust, and it just makes it all look a bit shady. So I think, a world-class agent for me is someone that can really look into their customer avatar, spend some time, look at who their people are, and build out a journey that fits. Okay, and it doesn't have to be the same size fits all either. You can tailor the experience per client. It takes a little bit more effort. So I think, that on the client side for me is paramount. Using technology to make things easy for the client, easy to register. Like I look at valuation booking forms sometimes, and it's like War and Peace. Like, why do you need all that info? All you need is name, email address, telephone number, and postcode, maybe, just to make sure they're in your area. And you can qualify the rest on the phone. Okay, but just make it really easy for them to get into the pipeline to start.
Mm-hmm.
And that, that takes us onto like the growth side of it. And I feel like we're still sometimes just so way behind in terms of like how we're getting clients into the pipeline, and it really keeps us in that kind of place where we're still fighting for fees and racing to the bottom. And because by the time you get to someone's house, normally they just don't know who you are. They might have seen your board if you're lucky, and that's why they called you. Or they did a Google search and picked the top 3 agents that either had an ad or didn't. If you're getting there nice and early, through your social media channels, through, posting on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and people are falling into your circle of influence, then by the time they call you, they kind of like already align with you, right? So it's a lot easier for you to get your fee, get the conversion. They're calling you because they want you round, not because you're one of 3 random people. Okay, so I think it will be really, a world-class agent for me understands that the process starts way in advance of them picking up the phone. Me and the missus have been talking about selling our house for like the last 6 months, right? And in truth, we already know who we're going to put it on the market with, right? And we haven't spoken to them, but we know who it's going to be because we've seen their stuff, we've seen their boards, we've seen what they're doing online, right? So, the other agent we call to come round is already, like, in our mind, just a backup to understand that we've got the right price. Sorry, that's the way it is, right?
That's the truth, isn't it? That's Most people know they're going to move within 9 months. They've kind of thought about it. They're flicking through Rightmove. They've got the mortgage conversation kind of in play. And then they start getting valuations right at the end, really.
Yeah, right at the end
of their preference, probably, yeah.
Right at the end of the decision-making process. And that is what 99% of agents I speak to just don't understand. So they're still surface level. Like, let's throw out a leaflet and hopefully someone sell it. Too fucking late. Excuse my language, right?
Yeah.
Let's put out a Facebook ad and hopefully someone will click it and book a vow. No, they won't. You're nuts. If you think that's going to happen, it's not going to happen. So, back to the world-class agent, they understand that it takes seeds way in advance, right? Posting, content, schedule, and a good way for people to get in so that they can deliver value in advance, build authority, build trust, and then, get that client later on down the line. Or second, a lot of the time when I'm teaching my clients, I'm like, look, dude, the valuation is obviously the holy grail, right? It's the holy grail. But there's another really good prize, and that is you convert them into a brand ambassador. So tomorrow, when they're in Costa Coffee and their mate is bitching about their estate agent, and honestly, I don't remember the last time I was in a coffee shop and didn't overhear a conversation about estate agency. Yeah. Oh, my estate agent is, my estate agent now. Right. So you just want to be in that conversation. You want to have converted that person to a brand ambassador. So they're going, well, have you spoken to Ian? No, who's Ian? He's this guy, I've been following him on blah, blah, blah. And yeah, he's got some really good content. You should speak to him, man. He's really good. Boom. That's even better, because that brand ambassador is going to go and tell a few people. Whereas the one client that you serve might not. He might just, because they're going to move out the area, they sell their house and they're gone. Yeah. Right? But the brand ambassador is sticking around, is telling all their mates.
Yeah. There's a lot of value in that. We call them super fans. Like, we realise, we realise when we're putting a load of video out and, being honest and authentic and keeping it. I like what you said at the beginning of that answer to that question, which is keeping it simple, keeping it really simple, and just remembering what the client is trying to achieve here. Like you said, you're going to sell your house. You and the missus aren't selling your house because you want to sell the house. You're selling the house because you want to do something else. There's a goal. You're either going to relocate or you're going to upsize or downsize or whatever the plan is. And the secondary to that is selling the property. So it's estate agents understanding what the goal is and then keeping it really simple and not throwing jargon in there. Leave the solicitors to do that. They do enough of it. Just estate agents, just keep it simple, translate it properly. So yeah, I really like that. It's a good answer, and I think people take a lot of value from that. Just give us a little bit of context on your background, Chris. So you started in agency, you were an estate agent, and then you kind of transitioned into more kind of digital marketing websites. So just give us a little summary of sort of how your career's gone.
So I started in 1999 as a trainee.
When you were 5, yeah?
When I was 4.5. So I started early, already had a moustache by then, but it was good. So I was in sales for a couple of years before that, just doing like mobile phones when they just come out. And then got a job in quite a big corporate agency, and just grew up the ladder there. Stayed there for 10 years. Started getting bored. Started already thinking about doing something else. To be honest, I just found it really easy. Like, people were always moaning about fees and la. My average fee on leaving agency was 2.01%, and I never did multis. So a bit of a boast there, but it's true. And that's why I kind of get a bit confused with it all now sometimes, and a bit harsh about it. But left there, went to a small independent to head them up. we got that really singing and dancing within a year, so they sold it.
Nice.
I was on a limb, so I went back into corporate again. And then I left in 2014. The last couple of years, I got a company to turn around a branch on a massive bonus, but so I did that. But my mind was already out of the game. I wanted to do some other stuff, some long-term life dream stuff, and I could only really do that with a more kind of passive, not totally passive, but a business that gave me a bit more free time. So I started EA Analytics, which is my parent company. Bad choice of name. Now I realise, because back then the idea was that we were going to be a consultancy, and so the analytics name kind of went. And then over the years, we realised how difficult that was when leaving a message for someone. I think it's Chris from EA Analytics, and I'll put down the phone and go, "There's nobody going to remember that." So we've kind of diversified recently into some other businesses. But yeah, so the consultancy, the idea was that I'd train agents on how to get better fees, better conversions, this, that, and the other. But I always had the idea in mind that I would grow this business organically and just go with what people wanted, because I didn't have the clearest of visions, to be honest. And in trying to get business for myself, targeting estate agents, I realized that was a real passion, the ads and the copy and building websites and all that stuff. And so I just realized how no one was doing it. There was no one doing Facebook ads. Estate agent websites were and still are total shit. Yeah. Without an eye on conversion, it's just we do all of this. And you can trust stuff. That's the bones of it, right? So it's right, there's a gap here. We'll get into that. So Facebook ads really kicked off back in about, I can't remember, 2016 maybe. I've written an article about how to generate valuations from Facebook ads, and it involved instant valuations. And the reason for that was people were just moaning at me about how they'd spent all this money on the valuation tool, which was first to market, and it was a complete scam. The price of it is a complete scam. 12-month contract, all of that malarkey. I think they've changed it now, but we won't mention their name. And I was like, well, you've got this thing on your website, right? Cool, yeah. Well, how many people visit your website? Well, I don't know. Well, if no one's visiting your website, no one's going to use the tool. So it's not the tool that's shit. It's you've got no traffic to your website. So why don't we try some Facebook ads, push some traffic to this this tool and see what happens. Mm. So we started building landing pages with a view to pushing people into the tool and stuff like that. And the results were just off the charts. You were one of those people that came along and tried it. In the early days when no one else was doing it, it was just me and you, some other people. And we were getting leads at 20p a pop. It was ridiculous. And no one had seen those ads. So the clients were hot. They were hot to trot. It's they hadn't seen it 3 times already in their feed or visited 10 estate agent websites and seen this tool. So it worked really well. So that's how we got into the Facebook ads. And then a couple of years later, I released a course teaching people how to do it. And then the rest is history now. You look in your feed and everyone's got the same ad. It drives me nuts, but it is what it is.
It was so simple, wasn't it? You make your local town house price calculator, you set up a good ad, which I say that flippantly because most people would look at Ads Manager and not know where to start. You have to have a context of the technicality of how it works. But once you get it, and then but that was all pre this kind of iOS upgrade where it was really easy. And things have changed now. And I think a lot of estate agents are still magpies to a lot of these other consultancies out there, or people selling a service, unfortunately, and still saying they can do the same thing, but it's not as easy anymore.
It's not as easy and it's not the same. And also, let's touch on that magpie thing because I think it's important. And it brings us back to the world-class thing. I think we are very much a sheep industry or magpie, and we just if they're doing it, we got to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they're doing it, we got to do it. So a lot of people just don't give a shit about the ad. I want to put it out there, guys and girls and everyone in between. when I'm on my feed, I see at least 6 instant val ads from different agents in a row. Like, they're worthless. And I'm selling them. I'm telling you, they're worthless, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we do still use instant vals, but not generally on Facebook. We do them on Google, and they really fucking well, because someone has to type in how much is my house worth to see the ad.
Yeah.
They're not just being passively targeted, right? And in the wrong area. Like, I'm in Essex, I get ads from North London. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I digress. This magpie attitude. It's like, so people are no longer worried about being better. Just as long as they're doing it, we're doing it. If they're doing that, we're doing that, right? Because we don't want them to have the edge on us.
Yeah.
There's not enough of let's get the edge on them, right? That I feel is fundamental issue with the industry at the moment, and that is where the world-class agents really shine through. You never did anything because someone else was doing it. From what I remember, you're always doing something because you're the first to do it. Let's do that. Let's smash that. Then let's improve it. Then let's drive it up. Let's get better at it. Let's bring something else in, right? Because if any of those agents looked at their ad and went, hold on a minute, this ad is exactly the same as everyone else's ad, right? Surely it's not really bringing us quality leads. If they had that mindset, they would change it, okay? But they don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, a world-class agent will look at that and go, well, how can we improve this? You know, how can we make it better? And in instant val ad defense, I think the reason people still use it, marketers especially, and ourselves, is it's so easy to set up. It's like the easiest thing to set up. And in truth, it sounds like I'm throwing down stages, but like 9 out of 10 estates I deal with that come to me to set up ads have nothing to give away, have no value, have no blog, have no checklist, have no ebook, have no nothing. Can you do video, mate? No, I've never been on video. I'm scared. Right, well, what have we got? Instant val. Right? Instant val. So again, back to the world-class agent. A world-class agent can produce content. A world-class agent can produce value. A world-class agent can get on video and talk about their town, their service, and themselves, right? Because in the era that we're in, honestly, I'm going to put it down. If you can't get on video, especially if you're a self-employed agent, if you can't get on video, shut up shop. Just go home. Because, like, if video is where it is, if you're waiting for your leaflet and your letter to go and do some biz for you, the guy doing it or the person doing video is going to beat you every single time. And, you know, and then you get people that understand that and go, you know what, I'll just post instead, right? I can tell you now categorically, I've tested it a ton of times. Static posts on Facebook will not grow your audience.
No, not unless you've got some crazy controversial thing or, you know,
And it never is, because agents don't want to be controversial. They want to be like, they want to toe the line because they don't want to upset anyone. And that's cool. I understand that. But like your static post about top tips for selling in the summer ain't going to move the needle. You need to get on video and read that post, right? And let people see you, because Facebook or Insta or TikTok is going to push that out. It's never pushing out your static post.
No.
Even if you boost it, it's going to just go.
There's too much. There's too much drive from these channels now. Even LinkedIn have now put, you know, reels, you know, portrait videos into the play, and they're pushing those out. You know, if you scroll down on LinkedIn, 3 or 4 posts, bang, there it is. You know, the reels carousel, and it's people want to consume that type of content, and you got to know how to do it. But you mentioned about being an authority. That's the thing. It's hard to do that with text and a photo. You know, it's hard to do that just consistently posting properties. You have to put a personality out there.
Yeah. I mean, people can feel your personality in the text, and you could, in absence of video, you could build authority in that way. But we have video, and the channels are pushing video. Why? Because video keeps people on the channel for longer, right? They can't skim a video. If they want the content, they have to watch the video, right? Yeah, you might jump across a bit, but with a post, a lot of people are very quick at speed reading. Boom, it's boring. They'll get bored after a few posts. So that's why, the channels are pushing video to keep people on the channel, right? So yeah, I feel like I'm starting to digress a bit there, but like, you got to be on video, man.
Yeah. So going into 2025, I said to my team, so at the point of this podcast coming out, there'll be less than 10 weeks until Christmas Eve. So, that's in its own right. You kind of look at it and go, right, well, for estate agents, banking, like what you're going to earn this year, that's done, right? It's kind of, that's locked in. Just see those sales through. Yeah. All the solicitors are going to go bonkers in November because they don't want to work December. So they're going to do the hard grafting for you. Don't be a pest, just be supportive. So everyone pretty much knows what they're going to do this year. But everything that you just spoke about really is going to have a big impact in the January, February movers. And you may be one of those. You may be one of the New Year movers, as you mentioned. So what kind of top 2 tips would you give to people outside of just doing video? But is there anything that you would say if you were running an estate agency, you want to make sure that you get your ideal client seeing you in sort of January and February coming on the market view? What kind of tips would you give people out there that are listening?
Like for me, first of all, come nearer the time, I'd be hitting up my database, right, to make sure that of anyone that might be thinking about moving, that we're back on top of mind. I'd be driving as many people back to my website as possible so that they can make sure I can retarget them with ads, so that I'm on top of mind. I'd be trying to really massively scale my mailing list right now so that, they start to get indoctrinated between now and then. It's going to take 3 months for you to build that loyalty and trust anyway. So if we can get them in now, be speaking to them, understand their journey, understand what they're looking for. And so by the time January comes, we've already got a relationship, right? They already know me. They know once they're in my pipeline, they're going to start seeing content online because they're going to visit my website to check me out. They're then going to see ads from me on Facebook. They click an ad, they're going to start seeing posts from me on Facebook or Insta or whatever your channel of choice is. And now really is the time to start doing that. Like softly, just get people engaging with your content, because it's going to take that time to build that authority and that trust, right? To get them to know, like, and trust you. It's going to take a bit of time. If you wait till January and start running your January promotion, you're going to get the people. You're going to get people come on board, but they don't give a shit about you. Like we said earlier, you're one of 3 agents. Yeah. But if you want higher fees and better conversions, you have to fight to not be one of the 3, right? Just be the one of one.
Yeah.
Okay? To be uncontested. And it is possible. I think the problem is back to the 1960 training we spoke about before the call. Any names, because we don't want to get thrown under the bus. But, a lot of the training back then was about rapport and, if you see a dog picture, talk about dogs and all that bullshit. Yeah, that fluff works when you're like, trying to gamble it and trying to build rapport and hang shiny baubles on yourself to make you look more attractive than the other 2. But if you've done your work in advance, you don't need any of that. You're going in to sign a contract, mate. Like, I'm around here, right, what we're doing, how much do you want? Yeah, cool. I think you should come for this swipe, right, boom, sign that. Done. Yeah, right? Yeah. End of story.
It's highest price, cheapest fee listings. That's what if you're doing the knee-jerk stuff, you're going to get the client that just wants the cheapest agent, the highest price. You mean nothing to them. You're just being you.
Yeah, because the reason for that, Ian, people think agents think people choose on price. They choose on price because you've left them nothing else to choose on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's it. Why should they pay you more? Because what? Because in that 45-minute appointment, you told them how you're the best. They've got no reason to pay you more because you haven't given them one. And thinking that your rapport skills are going to do it in that little short period of time, they're not. And that is why we're where we are with the cheapest fees in the world.
Yeah, because we're all the same. We're all offering professional photography, floor plans. Everyone pretty much offers some version of a property video now as well. Yeah. We've got a database of buyers that were looking, in 2017 that we can pretend, are still active, that they're not. It's kind of everyone's quite similar, unless you're doing the other part, the tips, the guides, the knowledge, the authority building, the updates.
But, and then you get everyone running around saying that they're different. Like, if you're two agents in a town and you do the same thing, but you offer drone photography and they don't, that don't make you different. That's just another shiny bauble that you've stuck on yourself. It don't make you any different. What makes you different is the client experience. Is the client going to experience a different journey with you than they are with the other agent? That's it, So, I think really I'd be investing a lot of my time now into building relationships in advance of Jan, so that when they're ready, there's only me to choose, and that's it. Back to the answer to the question.
Yeah, it does. And it kind of comes back to sort of automation and processes and touch points and experience, which sort of then leads me into a bit of a buzzword. It's conference season in estate agency now, and I see a lot of the agenda have some sort of AI-led talk. And I went to a couple last year, and I was really disappointed with the so-called authority on this subject in estate agency and how they were suggesting of using AI. I also went to a conference the other day where a really high-profile individual that had been on a Diary of a CEO, with Stephen Bartlett, was talking about agency and said, in a year's time, there will be an AI tool which can do all of the stuff that estate agents can do. It almost kind of was saying you'll be irrelevant, really, unless you stand out and do some of the stuff we were talking about, which was a bit like, I get it, but let's talk about it more positively, because I'm loving AI at the moment. Even on my Strava for running has just updated. And then when I did a run yesterday and it said, great Monday run, a little bit above your average speed for the last 30 days. Well done and enjoy the rest of your well-earned day. That's AI talking to me on Strava. And I was like, yes, I'm pumped. Like, I just think it's got such a cool place in an estate agency. I'm finding some good little nuggets to use it in. But with your kind of digital hat on, marketing hat, estate agency or not, how are you finding incorporating AI into your sort of daily life at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, look, first off, let's say this. AI is here. It ain't going anywhere. It's only going to get better, and it's only going to get used in more and more and more and more and more and more things.
Yeah.
So if you think it ain't going to enter a estate agency, you're nuts, right? Yeah. It is. How deep and how far it goes is another question altogether. And AI, for the most part, isn't really here to replace you. It's a tool you can use to make your job and your life easier. Let's be honest. Most estate agents are shit at copywriting. I've read a million websites. They're all tosh. They're not very good at copywriting, which is weird because they're salespeople. Okay? So if we can use AI to help us write our copy better, why not?
Yeah.
I'm not, you're still going to edit it. You're still going to go, I don't really want that bit in there, or I don't really want that bit in there. When you told me about the question, what is a world-class agent? I went onto AI and I was like, right, AI, here's my website. Here's my company website. Here's a bit about me. Here's my bio, right? How would I answer this question?
Nice.
Oh, Chris would answer it in this way. Sweet. Now write it from a first-person perspective as though I'm answering the question. Oh, sweet. Okay, now write a bit about how it's really two sides to the business, which is how we started the thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. Fantastic. So I read that. Gone, yeah, okay, pretty cool. Got some ideas now. Now, did I spit it back out to you verbatim? No, I didn't. But I had an idea of, what I might want to talk about. Okay, so that's an area where it can help you. I use it when I'm building a website and someone's already got some copy. I'll go, right, go scan that website, find out what they're all about, and give me some good landing page copy, okay, to put on their thing. And then I'll ask it, right now, rate that landing page copy out of 10 and tell me how it can be improved. Doesn't always give you the best first straight away. So you just work with it. Okay. You can write Facebook ads. I've written, a lot of our ads now that we do are written by AI just to give us more variations. Does that mean we're being lazy? No, I mean, like, it knows ad copy. It's a world-class. It has way more knowledge than you. Okay, so we use it. We use it to optimize ads, to push ad spend into the right place. Okay, because a lot of people out there pretending that they're Facebook ads and Google ad experts. They're not. And I'm talking about the experts in our industry. Yeah. They're not experts. They're palming off your ads to someone elsewhere anyway. And secondly, is like, they ain't got a clue about optimizing the ads. Yeah. But AI does, right? AI knows, right, get rid of that keyword and put this one in there instead. Right, okay. You can even do this now, right? You can give all your ads across all your channels, Facebook, Google, TikTok, whatever, okay? And just go, right, I've got £100 a day to spend. There's all the ads. There's all the channels. Optimized it. And it'll go, right, blah, 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 blah. Google's giving us much better cost per lead. Let's push 80% of the budget there and let the rest fight for the rest. Because you still need a bit of budget in the rest to see if any of them suddenly change and go, actually now Facebook's outperforming Google. Let's move some of that budget back. And AI can do that, like, easily. So why have I got to waste all of my day trying to do that when I could do something else? So in terms of our business, we're using it to help with copy, design, optimization, all sorts of stuff that would normally really just be script in our engine, so it allows us to be more on the front foot and do more content. Realistically, like, it's just about content now. Getting out on the front foot and making content, getting people into your circle of influence and starting to align with your brand. And that is something that currently AI can't do better than a human, right? You see a lot of these AI generated ads. They look pretty legit, but you can tell. And the things they say are a little bit off sometimes, right? But so your human will always beat that. Yeah. So where you've got your competition relying on AI to do that, and you're out on the front, giving it your actual personality, you're going to win. So let AI do the stuff in the background. Like,
we had a blog the other day, in exactly what you're talking about there. We had a blog the other day that was kind of half. The context of it was given by me, and then my marketing team wrote up the copy, sent me it to check, and I looked at the heading and I was like, I think I can write a better heading than that. Because, with a blog, ultimately it's to go on the website and it's for SEO, right? You want Google to kind of find the blog. So I was like, I think I can write a better heading than that. So I put mine in, and then I've got an analyzing tool, a headline SEO analyzing tool that's AI led, and put it in, scores it out of 10, and then it tells you all the kind of 16 different metrics to improve it. And the one that they'd written was 8.5, and I was like, pretty good actually, to be fair. So I put mine in, and it goes 4, and I was like, oh, okay, mine's shit. Mine's shit. But I liked mine because I'd written it, but the data doesn't lie. And the goal is to get more people to see the blog. So then I spent probably 10 minutes fine-tuning mine. I couldn't get it above 6. And then I went, right, okay, well, what about if I just slightly tweak the one that they'd written just to make it feel a bit more like I'd written it? And I managed to get it to 9. And actually, I wasted a lot of time trying to prove that I was right, where I could have just fine-tuned, exactly as you said, the one that had already been done. And that's where AI for me is so good, because I think estate agents with their marketing are often they're led by their own ego a little bit sometimes. They kind of think that it's the right thing, but there's so many different ways to proof that and test it at the moment.
You're so right. Like, I've been dealing with clients lately, building websites, and they're like, oh, well, we need this bit from the old website because one client once said that's why they instructed us. Okay, cool. But you can't just be worried about that one person. So, we will ask AI like everything to get an opinion. And then I'm the curator of those opinions, right? Yeah. So I'll look at it and go, let me double check this. So I'll use multiple AIs. So I'll get an answer from GPT, Go, I don't know, sure, right. Let's ask Claude, see what Claude's saying. Let's ask Gemini, right? So and now you can build tools that use all three, like in a workflow.
Mm.
So I'll use one that's good at coding for that part, and then one that's good at writing for that part, and then boom, and it just goes through and gives me what I need at the end. But in terms of what, digress again. So in terms of what like agents can, what about do we want to talk about what agents can use AI for and how they could improve their biz, I guess. And for me, like, yeah, it just boils down to getting copy, singing and dancing and helping it. You know what? We'll cut this bit. We'll cut this bit because I just bubbled on. I wanted to talk about like,
I think the AI tool as well, where you talk about the copy, and you spoke about inspiration for your initial question. But we bring it all back to video, and where people, a little bit worried about video and stuff like that. I really think that this is where AI can help estate agents that are worried about video. Sometimes I find even with the avocado lot that are pretty comfortable on video, the inspiration of what to record sometimes is the mental block for a lot of people. Yeah. That's where AI, you can just ask it. I want to do a video to talk to my town, to families that are looking to sell in 2025. Can you give me 10 different ideas of how I can make a 60-second video for Facebook and Instagram? And just get inspired by what it says. And, you can feed it your website and say, give me some ideas based on my website. Boom, 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 boom. And then you've got something to work with. But one of the things that, again, because we keep the theme of video and AI going, I think the easiest way that I've found to create good content is to create some long form like we're doing now with this podcast. And this is how we'll use it as well is, it's a 40-minute podcast. We've got the long form. It's great for YouTube. 50 odd people will watch it on YouTube. Maybe not watch the whole thing. A load of people will listen to it on the podcast. But AI is great at throwing that in and spitting out 30 short form videos that will give people the little bite-sized nuggets of what we've spoken about. And if they want to watch it more, they'll go and watch the full video. So that for me is one of the quickest, easiest ways for people is record a podcast or a chat or a market update, chop it up, spit it out and let it do its thing. That's the easiest way for agents for me.
For sure. And like, as long as you've got some pillar content, like you could even start with your pillar content. The main piece is the blog post, right? Then you say to the AI, write me a Facebook post about this blog, write me a TikTok video, write me an Instagram caption, right? So from that one piece now, you've got all this different content that AI can help you with. Even like in the last video we did, like in my video editor, I just said to the AI, find me 10 clips from this video that I can use as TikTok shorts. Yeah. Bam, 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 bam. Just chop them out. Boom. I got TikTok shorts. Yeah. That's just time saved. Like, did it create the content for me? No, but it saved me like shit ton of time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if we can look at just kind of not being scared of it, like not trying to keep it out of the industry because it's not going to stay out, right? It's in. Yeah. So what can you do to be a front runner using AI to help you improve your biz?
Yeah.
Like one big thing that like the Americans always seem to be like one step ahead in terms of the real estate. And they're really like utilizing chatbots at the moment. AI chatbots that can speak like a human, that just get to the point and book people in your diary. Right, it can even follow them up. Why aren't we seeing more of that? I put a chatbot on a client's website the other day. This client's website doesn't convert anything normally. Like literally, we put it on in a week. Within that week, they booked like 7 vows.
Through the chatbot?
Through the chatbot. Why wasn't it booking before? Because the process was too difficult.
Yeah.
And hidden. Yeah. Like, how many websites I go to and I don't even see a book evaluation button. Yeah. Sometimes it's in the menu. But what you got to remember is people get a bit menu blind. Yeah. Like it's the bit at the top they don't really look at. They're scrolling down the page. It's like, where's your book evaluation button? So we put this little chatbot on there. Bam. It's booking an appointment all on its own.
Yeah. So good.
Is
so good. So simple. So effective.
Yeah. Get an ad running where they don't have to fill out a form, but they click on the message button and boom, they're chatting with the bot. And they know it's a bot, but people don't care. They know it's fine. They just want to get their information and go about their day rather than waiting for some human who's going to answer in whatever way they're going to answer, because that's how they're feeling that day. Yeah. I chatted to an Amazon rep yesterday who was rude. She was rude. I couldn't believe what was happening. Like on this chat, she was so rude. I was like, "Can I get a replacement instead of a refund?" Well, if I could offer a replacement, I would have said it. What?
Yeah. I did it with a Meta chat the other day. Actually, I was talking to someone on Meta, and they're just totally missing the point of what I was asking.
Yeah,
I wasn't rude, but I just said, "You're not listening to what I'm saying. I need this to happen." And you're not being very helpful. And then it responded with a bit like how you're talking to me. And I was like, what?
What?
Like, what? I need you to fix it for me. I'm trying to spend money for you. No, it's a great point. But
what's unlikely to do that, man? It's just going to boom, boom, boom. It's going to take ego and feelings out of the equation and just deal with it. It's like I say to my clients when they're responding to reviews. You know what, dude? Don't respond to a negative review. Bang it into ChatGPT and let ChatGPT answer it for you, because you're going to use ego, emotion, all of that sort of stuff. You're going to get defensive, and you think you're just trying to win the argument, right? Because it's between you and that person, but it's not between you and that person.
Yeah,
it's between you and that person and everyone else that's going to read your reviews before they call you. And if they see you're being a defensive asshole, they're not going to call you. So let's just let the AI do it, all right?
Yeah.
But that's this kind of thing you can leverage AI to really help you. But like, it's not just about content. It really is about like optimizing everything. Looking at I used it for yesterday. I used it as a sales call analyzer. I uploaded the transcript of my sales call, right, to my AI, and it gave me a full breakdown of the call, all the touch points I hit, all the touch points I didn't hit, what I could do to improve that call, how I could have closed it better. And then it gave me the follow-up email.
Nice.
All based on the call. So instead of me now banging out a template email, which is what I normally do, this thing's given me a tailored email specifically for that client.
It's powerful. We had an offer accepted on a freehold building, a commercial building for us to move into, because it's sort of outgrown where we were. And it will be the biggest kind of purchase that we've made since Avocado launched. But the property has VAT attached to it. So you have to buy the house, buy the commercial unit, and pay VAT on top. There's a lot of VAT. So I asked AI, I was like, what are the options around VAT? Can you finance the VAT? Because you get the VAT back. You pay the VAT, 100 odd grand plus, and then 6 months later, I'm going to get the VAT back. So it's like, this is stupid. It was like, rather than putting the VAT in cash, what options have you got? How can you leverage it? Blah, blah, blah. Can you act as my CFO and my accountant in the UK? And it came back with this 6-point strategy of all these different options. And we may not use any of them, but it was great for me to get that advice rather than calling up someone and paying 500 quid for it, just to see what the flavour and the theme is. Obviously, I'd get proper advice if I selected one, but it just gave us an idea of the options. So I think, it's embracing it and bringing it more into the modern day life. For people that I've taken so much of your time, Chris, and thank you, but for people that are listening that may want to sort of get in contact with you, have a chat with you about, website SOS or, how their ads are working and stuff like that, what channels are the best way? Is it website? Is it email? What's the best way to get in contact with you?
Yeah, so to get in contact with me directly, they can just go to my website, which is chriskyriacou.uk. And you can book a call with me there or chat on WhatsApp. Otherwise, find me on Facebook, send me a message. I'm always open to chat to people for free. That's all good. If it's a business related thing, if you want a new website or you need your ads set up or whatever, then you can go to eaanalytics.co.uk. I'll say that slowly. And we can have a chat and you can scope things out there, and we'll always point you in the right direction. Like in truth, I just want to help people grow. If you're a good fit, we'll work together. If you're not, I'll just tell you where else you can go to get help. quite selective with who we take on board, because we like to work with action takers, forward thinkers. So if you're not in that frame of mind, then probably don't reach out. Being honest, you don't need tire kickers or anyone that's not going to take action. I offer a 6-month coaching and hand-holding program. If you're interested in that, reach out. It's not cheap, but let me tell you, it's going to change your biz. We're going to teach you everything you need to know to be a 2025 and beyond estate agent. And, it's life-changing. So if that's the kind of thing you're up for, hit me up on WhatsApp. You can find it on my website, chriskyriacou.uk. And we'll go from there. Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Some great combo there, some great feedback, and so hopefully there'll be some great feedback, some great value shared. As people know, we do this podcast because we love the estate agency industry. We want it to be better. We want to improve. We want to give people education and value. We drop an episode every Wednesday. You can find us now on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple. It's on all the good channels. And we'll be back next Wednesday with another episode. Thanks everyone for listening and watching.